Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steph Curry recruited $22.5 million star to join Warriors. Report one of the major reasons Stephen Curry signed a one-year $62.6 million max extension with the Golden State Warriors is his strong belief in their efforts to get him a co-star to go for another title. According to The Athletic's Marcus Thompson, Curry was privy to all of the Warriors' off-season moves, including their failed attempt to land nine-time NBA All-Star wing Paul George. Curry recruited Paul George. Thompson wrote, so Curry is aware of what was in the Warriors' control and how much of their whiffs were creditable to their rivals. The Warriors' only chance to land George was via sign and trade. However, the Clippers disagreed with the Warriors' terms and let George walk in free agency. Ultimately, George signed a four-year $2,212.5 million max contract with the Philadelphia 76ers after his move to the Sixers that catapulted Philadelphia into one of the favorites in the Eastern Conference. Instead of lifting the Warriors back into the title contention, George revealed it would have been dope to play with Curry and Draymond Green and stay on the West Coast. That was a real thing. That being traded to the Warriors was close to being done. That deal was close to being done from what I was being told on the situation, George detailed on a July 8, 2024 episode of Podcast P. They were expressing just how much they wanted me, though how I could have fit in perfectly with Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Brandon Podimski, Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins. They didn't know how or what package was going to be that to trade for me. George said he was intrigued to play for the Warriors and considered it a win-win situation to play for such a great team and stay near home, but where he ended up is also a good situation where there is an opportunity to contend. I think Steph is a unicorn, one of one player, and Joe's Embiid a unicorn, one of one player, George added. So it was kind of like a good situation to be in the middle of, but ultimately the deal didn't go through. I think the Clippers didn't want a certain trade deal that the Warriors were willing to give, and yeah, it just didn't happen, but it was close. It was close. In July, Warriors owner Joe Lacob expressed the Warriors will continue to be aggressive in trying to extend the team's championship window with Curry. Other trades that are being discussed all the time, absolutely, Lacob said on the TK Show podcast on July 26. It's one of those things where you have to find the right partner at the right time, and you have to sort of agree that this is going to work for both parties. We've been looking at things since the draft and free agency here, various trades, and frankly that isn't something that ends tomorrow or any time in the next few weeks after missing out on George. The Warriors also engaged the Utah Jazz in trade talks for Lauri Markkanen, but the Jazz held firm and asked for the bulk of the Warriors' young players and draft capital. Markkanen eventually signed a five-year $238 million extension to remain with the Jazz. I think there are other names out there that are significant players that if they want to play for the Warriors and we felt we had the right package and we can convince the other team and the player, then they're conceivable to do. We're going to keep trying, Lacob said. Stephen Curry opens up on his Olympic gold medal run. I still watch some highlights in the aftermath of his first Olympic appearance. Stephen Curry is still feeling the rush of winning gold for his country. In a recent chat with USA Today Sports, the superstar point guard opened up the full experience, a 7-game series that's a long build-up, said Curry. This was just one game, 40 minutes, can you get it done? And then obviously the France game, gold medal game in France, that last 3 minutes was storybook stuff, and it still hasn't really sunk in. Winning the gold, we expected to do that, we knew it was going to be hard, but how it happened, I still watch some highlights of the last 3 minutes. Y36 had avoided the Olympic Games until this summer when he made an early commitment to join forces with LeBron James and Kevin Durant to re-establish USA as the dominant basketball hub this year. More so than most others, the competition was strong. Countries like Canada, Serbia, Germany and Greece had enough high-level talent to pose a serious threat to win the gold, but it was France who was the biggest danger to Team USA, led by Victor Wanyama, Nick Baton and Rudy Gay. The French had an impressive competitive roster that made it to the gold medal game. Of course, thanks to Curry, Team USA was able to win the tournament and bring home another gold medal for the nation after a relatively sluggish start in the exhibition stage. Curry really got it going toward the end, and he was huge during the elimination games, while it was LeBron James who ultimately won MVP of the tournament. Curry was the team's leading scorer with averages of 14.8 points, 3.2 rebounds and 2.5 assists per game in just over 23 minutes. His best game was against France for the gold, when he put up 24 points and 5 assists on 8-14 shooting. Besides dominant play on the court, Curry was able to deepen his relationship with his peers, including LeBron James. The pair were seen hanging out at various points throughout the summer and posed together for many pictures during the event. At this stage of his career, Steph has acknowledged that this was probably his last time at the Olympic Games, but he certainly made it count. His shooting and playmaking made everything easier on the floor and gave the USA the scoring punch they needed to outlast the competition. Unlike the long grind of the NBA playoffs, the Olympic Games were one and done, meaning every game mattered and every possession was important, with the margin for error so slim. The pressure was always on and it required complete and total focus from the whole roster. In the end, they completed the mission, and Steph remains undefeated in all games for the USA going into next season. Curry, ex-champion, is expected to be at their top of his game, coming off an impressive Olympic performance where he outplayed some of the best in the world. He'll have to carry a heavy weight for the Warriors as they attempt to get back to the top of the Western hierarchy. Clearly, Steph still has a lot of time left, and he's going to keep doing whatever he can to ensure that his team can be competitive in the West and stay in the championship picture for years to come. Davis been invited to work out for the Warriors per Mark Stein. Davis been, also known as the Latvian Laser, has been invited to work out for the Golden State Warriors. Davis Bertans has been invited to work out for the Warriors as Golden State determines whether to extend a training camp invite to the Lvon Sharpshooter League. Sources tell at the Stein line Rudy Gay earned a Warriors training camp invite last season after similar auditions for Bun agent Artur Sidis via Instagram. Bertans is set to prepare for the upcoming season together with the Warriors veterans. Agent Artur Sidis posted on Instagram that his client will prepare for the upcoming season together with the Warriors. Traded from OKC to Charlotte last season, Bertans, 31, is now in pursuit of a Golden State camp offer. Bertans played a total of 43 games last season, 15 for the Oklahoma City Thunder and 28 for the Charlotte Hornets. He averaged 6.7 points, 1.4 rebounds and 0.8 assists on 15.7 minutes per game and shooting splits of 39.3% from the field, 47.1% on twos, 0.8 attempts, 38% on threes, 4.7 attempts, 90.9% on free throws, 0.8 attempts and a 58.3% true shooting mark. Bertans is a career 39.6% shooter from three-point range on nearly 5 attempts. He would be worth a look as a spot-up and movement shooter who would help open up the floor for the Warriors bench mob. Despite the shortcomings on the defensive end of the floor, however, for Dalton Johnson of NBC Sports Bay Area, Bertans hasn't been invited to training camp yet. As of now, the invitation is limited to a workout. And you fan, what do you think of their situation of Davis Bertans? Leave you our opinion in the comments.